Okay. Uh, there you go. Change it. Change the tone of my skin tone with the different way the light goes. Any rate, boom. I interview people who are dynamic, energetic. They're about getting that money. They're about helping people because everything isn't about making money. We can make money, of course. There's no problem. I have no problem with somebody making their money. Now, you can make money doing illegal activities and hurting the community and the people. You can make a whole lot of money. I've done it. Now, you can make money and do things that actually help people, whether it be to help them actually, like a helping hand, or help them by teaching them. I've done that. Now, at the end of the day, I feel a whole lot better helping people and making money. And it's something that I can be proud of, something I can brag about. I mean, you can brag about selling drugs and doing that stuff too. Yeah, you can. Um, what good will it do you? How long will it last? That's on you. You know, that remains to be seen. But being able to help your family, your community, the environment, so on and so forth, is actually a good thing. So I've been on YouTube and I've been on platforms where I talked about my life and things that happened with me. And one of the things that I've told guys when they wanted to interview me about my past and things I've been through, so on and so forth, which were not good. So I told them, listen, I'll talk about stuff in the past. I have no issues with talking about it, but we're not going to just stay on all the bad stuff. Some of us is good for TV or internet or depending on um your audience. It's great. Some audiences are for they don't mind hearing about um the shoot 'em up, bang bang type of stuff, the violence. Some don't mind hearing about that. They like that. We're in a society where a lot of that is part of our culture. Popular culture. You got a lot of movies that make a lot of money and is dealing with a lot of destruction. That being said, to each his own, because a lot of people that they enjoy it, they enjoy watching it, they enjoy hearing about it. A lot of them don't want it, meaning they'll listen to the violent stuff, they'll watch the violent stuff. They don't necessarily want violence in their home, in their face, right up on them, but they'll live vicariously through hearing your story or watching a movie or a video or what have you. And then you have some people that they don't mind being taught something, whether it be an educational video, a seminar, so whether it be live or on the internet. And I'm the type I can do that. I can watch a violent movie and have fun loving it. It doesn't even have to be hero based, because I like the hero stuff too. Marvel, DC, I like the hero stuff too. But it doesn't have to be that. It could just be straight up, boom, bang, bow, boom, boom. I like watching that at times. I don't watch that all the time. And then I watch a comedy, and I can also watch something that teaches me something. There's a there's a lot of times that I put on the internet and I'll look at stuff that will actually teach me something. Because a lot of times when I learn something, I can apply that towards my life in some way that may actually help me to benefit. It's not always a monetary benefit, but it can help me to benefit as well. Benefit my time, my health, you know, mental health, physical health. So I don't just talk to people about the money aspect of it, even though it's 25 ways to make 25K. It's not being broke, but everybody who takes on entrepreneurial challenge isn't just rolling in dough. They're not just rolling in dough. It's tough at times, and I'm talking about it can be a tough journey. Not just okay. Well, listen, I had a bad week. No, you can have a bad year. Like it can be really rough. I've my own personal experience. I've been through seasons where I didn't make a lot of money, and then I can get a month and make money that a year's worth of money in a month. So there's seasons where you could be like, yo, struggling every depending on what you do. Because people do different things. You could have gigs that you do. You can have all right, say you're selling something and you can have months where whatever your product is, you sell little to none. But let's just say, for the sake of being positive, let's say you have months where you're selling, you're just not selling to the quota that you projected. So that in of itself can be a very challenging struggle. Like, hold on a second. Um, I've been, especially if you're advertising, if you're spending money to do this, let's just hypothetically, let's call it, um, you're spending money advertising and you spend $100. You spend $100 a month advertising and you don't make $100 a month in whatever your sales is. So, and this is low numbers just to keep it where basically anybody that watches can relate to it. So you're not even breaking even. Now imagine if you magnify it and you say, yo, listen, I spend $1,000 a month and I don't make $1,000 back. You know, you spend $1,000 a month and you make 200. Put that through a year. Just think about it. If you spend $1,000 a month for a year, you spent $12,000. If you make $200 a month, then you made 1,200. So you spent 12,000, made 1,200. So that means you're 10,800 in the hole for the year. And I'm not saying I did this. I'm just using that as an example of how, depending on what you're doing, these numbers can add up adversely, can go against you because there's a lot of people out there that will solicit you and say, you pay us X amount per month and we'll advertise you and you're going to make XYZ. Now, I'm going to give you a real live situation of myself, real numbers. I had a car wash a few years ago and I had someone solicit me, come to me at the car wash and say, all right, here's the deal. I will get you on the receipt, on the back of the receipt of Stop and Shop. This is real. Stop and Shop. I was in Mount Vernon at the time, so he said he'll get me on the back of Stop and Shop receipts in Mount Vernon. Stop and Shop has a lot of people go there, so there's a lot of potential clients. You make, meaning me, make my own flyer, or whatever I want, the wording that I want on back of that to advertise. Turn it into a coupon, say whatever. Boom. Now it was a contract. And I'm saying this because that's an important word, a contract. Um, for the sake of discussion, I'm not 100% sure, but for the sake of discussion, I'm going to say 1 year. I think it was more than 1 year, but for the sake of discussion, I'm going to say 1 year, um, just so I can do the math and make sense for 1 year. I'm around at the 300. It was more than 300, but I don't remember the exact, but it wasn't 400. So I'm around down $300 a month. $300 a month for 12 months. That's $3,600, right? 300 times 10 is 3,000. Then you got 2 more months. It's $3,600. So I contracted to spend $3,600 in order to get my business on the back of Stop and Shop receipt. They be having those long receipts. So if you go and you buy at Stop and Shop or BJ's or whatever, a lot of these places that have these long receipts, I didn't even notice this until I entered into this situation. There's a lot of this going on. And that's the reason why they have these long receipts. You can buy 5 products and then have a receipt. I was like, why are these receipts so damn long? Because of the coupons and the stuff that they're promoting on the back where they're making money. They have to hand it out to you. A lot of times, I didn't even look on the back of the receipts until I had something there. So I start looking to see if my stuff was there. Oh, so now, um, in like 90 days of not after paying, so 360 after $900 done escaped my pocket, I start asking questions like, "Hey, what's up? Well, maybe you need to change the stuff that you got on it." Okay, well, I changed it. Now, I'm going to be fair. I was green, never knew anything about this situation. So it's not like I'm the best copywriter or the best person writing a ad or something like that. So that being said, it might have been what I wrote, might have been. But the point is what the point is. Uh, 12 months of this, $3,600 later, and I kid you not, I didn't make $1,000. I didn't make way less than $1,000, but I paused because I didn't get a lot of takers that came with that. I just paused because I was thinking I might have gotten a detail or two out of it. And saying that because a detail is expensive, I can get hundreds of dollars for doing a detail. So I'm not sure if I got any details with that, but I can tell you that in total, with those for the year, I didn't get, and I'm gonna be fair to myself because I was about to say 5. I'm gonna say 10. So because I know I didn't get 10 people in the year. 5 is debatable, but 10 is definite. I didn't get 10 people to come with that coupon. So I spent $3,600. And they had to kind of force me because I was done with them after like 6 months. I stopped paying, switched my account and all that. Like, like change my number on the all that. But they kept at me, so I relented and paid the rest of the money. But I was tight about it. And in comparison, there's a free service. I'm trying to think of the name. That's why I'm pausing. There's a free service where you sign up and you put your company name on there, and then you offer discounts through them. I can't think of the name right now. But like I said, it's a free service where it's free to sign up. But when people actually purchase, they get paid a percentage off that. Now, this is the better way to go. I may think of it as I go along the name of the service, but this is a better way to go because there was no upfront payment. In order for them to get money, you had to make money. So they got theirs off of every time I got a customer that went through their site, they made money. So I didn't mind them making money because them making money means I made money. That receipt thing was just them making their money off the rip without no worry on whether or not I made a dime. There was no incentive to care about me at all. There was no incentive to make sure that I do well because they was going to get that $3,600 regardless on whether I made $1 or $1 million. They didn't care. What's the name of this? I can't remember, but it's a service where you put it on there. They shop a lot of deals for people, and they get them discounts. They get them discounts. So the discounts help, and people are able to get. I know I did details with that using that service. I got details, and they provided. Once when the people came and said, "Okay, I found you on this." Damn, I can't remember. I found you on this, and they'll give me the It's like something on their phone where they bought it on their phone, so they'll show me the thing. Once I provide the service, I have to click something, or they have to click something to show that okay, they got the service, it was done because they paid for it already, but they paid for it through them. So when they say the service is done, click, boom, they know I provided the service. Now they will, and I also do the same thing on my end. They send me something saying that such and such said they are there, blah, blah, blah. You have a service for them. Boom. I also confirm that the service has been completed. There, they send me my portion of the money and they keep theirs. And everybody's happy, so to speak. They got their service at a discount. I got my money. I got paid, and the middleman got paid as well. And they helped them to get a discount. They helped me to get some more customers. And even though I'm providing my service at a discount, it doesn't matter because you're helping me to get more customers. So I wish I could remember the name of it, but I can't right now. But I know if I was to say it, anybody that sees this, because it's not a foreign name. People know of this. People check. Um, um, my wife goes online and looks for discounts on airfare on this. I can't remember. But anybody who watches this will know what I'm talking about. I just don't remember it because I didn't utilize it. I heard of it. So when one of my secretary at the car wash brought it up as a suggestion, I was like, well, I heard of it. People use it. So let's try it. And I'm not going to say I was overflowed with customers by using it. I'm not going to say that. But I will say that in comparison with me spending close to $4,000 in a year with that crap, with the receipts, that was a better investment. Now, I'm going to say this again. I was new to that. So, do I think the receipt thing was a total bust? For me, it was because I spent too much money for a little turnover. But I believe if it is done properly, it could have been it could have been something. And I was approached again for Family Dollar. Family Dollar doesn't get the traffic that Stop and Shop gets. So they were trying to give me a better deal, but I was done with that. I was like, listen, I done lost X amount of money. I done with Stop and Shop situation. So I'm not going to do it with Family Dollar because, you know, unless I get to that point where I'm confident that I know what I'm doing, that it's going to work, even though it was a lot cheaper. But I was done with it. I just couldn't see myself potentially losing anything in that same type of situation. And like I said, Family Dollar, the traffic is a lot less than Stop and Shop. So I'm like, listen, if I can't make this money with Stop and Shop, why would I do it with Family Dollar? And it could have ended up being something good, but I didn't take that chance. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie and say I took that chance. So I was waiting for a guest. I thought the guest was trying to get in, so that's why I moved over for a second. But what? What? So I don't know what the situation is, but I got a guest right here. It's my guest, Princess Rudy. Say hi. Huh? Hi. But at any rate, I was talking. Basically, it's about making money. About making money, but you have to have a conscience when you're making money. You have to. And I'm saying that this is the way I feel because there's a lot of people that make a whole lot of money with no conscience. So this is strictly my opinion. You, it would be nice to have a conscience because there's people that no matter what they do, they can sleep at the end of the day. They can. But for instance, what was it last month? I even lost track of the dates. Um, I almost had a car accident because my tire blew out. And me and Princess, she was in the car in the van with me too. Um, I had bought I'm gonna say bootleg. I bought a new tire from a bootleg spot because my tire went flat after hours. So I was in Harlem, and there wasn't any place that I dealt with wasn't open until the next day, and I needed to get home. I was an hour and a half away from home, and I needed to get home. So I did a search, see what was open. There was something open like 2 miles away from me. Um, so I got the tow truck to tow me over there, and I bought the tire. Spent like $125, and that's regular. That's my van is a Ford Transit Connect, so it's not like my Mercedes or the Bentley. The tires is not the same. They don't cost the same. So me spending $125 on a tire, it's regular. It's regular. That's what I spend on the tire. So since it was a standard amount of money me spending, I'm expecting it to be the standard quality of a tire that I'm used to getting. No such luck there. So I'm saying my tire burst within about 2 months of me buying it. I did a 360 on the highway. Luckily, there wasn't a lot of traffic. There was traffic, but it wasn't a lot. So there wasn't no cars next to me, you know, or none of that. When I did all that, going from one side to the other and almost hitting the guardrail, um, I did not see any cars. I wasn't in danger of hitting no cars. Cars went past me, boom, but I wasn't in danger. But the whole point is, if you sell somebody something that defective or that cheap, and it could cost them their life, that should be something where you have a conscience like, yo, I shouldn't do this. Boom. But there's people who they don't care. If something happened, they just worried about getting sued. And like, okay, if it can happen, they can get sued. But my thing is, do some things where you can make some money and and be proud of. because I really went across my mind like, yo, I should go back to that place and see that dude. and, I, and I thought about it, and I was like, first of all, I don't even remember the address. The way I could really track it down is the Google where I was at, where I caught the flat, and then find a 24-hour spot that's close to there, and it would probably take me back to the same place. Well, but while I was there, you could tell from being there's a hole in the wall spot. I asked to use the bathroom. I had to go like get through because there was tires everywhere. And when I got to the bathroom, the floor was decrepit and like I went down the slope, like there was an old shoe in the halfway tucked behind the toilet, and the floor just felt like it was gonna fall, like I was gonna fall through the floor. I should have known. And that's why when my tire light went off, that was the only tire I figured could be the problem, even though that was the newest tire. No, it wasn't the newest tire because I had another flat after I got that fixed. So all four of my tires were were new. I just didn't get them all at the same time. Um, so they all four of my tires were relatively new, meaning months old. One of them was a spare, which was new, and the other ones got replaced. But the other ones, the ones that got replaced, were from the guy that I usually get them from. So I know that those are good. So, any rate, I thought twice about going over there and seeing them because, first of all, the $125 wasn't a big deal to me. Like if I went there and said, "Yo, listen, this happened with the tire," it's like, "Yo, I ain't giving you a 125." I wasn't coming here for that. 125 was the furthest thing from my mind. So, um, but going over the possible scenarios on how that would have went, I didn't see no real good ending because even if he would have said, yo, I'm sorry, here's your 125, that would have been like the best scenario. But that still wouldn't have been good enough for me. Like, okay, so you said you're sorry and you give me my 125. All right, cool. But you sold me a product that could have killed me. So that ain't even good enough. So there was really no solution that was feasible in my head for me to go down there, unless I wanted to go down there and put hands on them. So I was like, yo, listen, that doesn't make too much sense. So there's no reason for me to go. If I don't have a actual solution that I can feel good with, then it don't make sense in doing it. And putting hands on them to me was the best solution, but it wasn't acceptable. So I'm like, well, if the best solution is not acceptable, then all the other ones, me getting a refund or him apologizing or what, all those are beneath that. So there's no sense in even me bothering wasting my time and doing any of this. So let me see what is going on with my guess. Why is yeah? So I guess you want to be my guest too? You want to be my guest? You want to be my guest, Princess Ruby? Hi, my name is Princess Ruby. My name is Princess Ruby. This is what I do. I jump on you. I lick you. All right. So my guest is probably coming in any moment now, and then we can talk about we can talk about what she does and see if she can engage you more than I and make your life a little more whole, help you out. We can have a little fun talk about things. I like doing this. I could be a part of other podcasts. Other situations, doing other things. But I like this. To me, this is therapeutic. All that stuff is therapeutic to me. When I can talk and impart some type of knowledge and wisdom and gain some too, those are good for me. I like that. This is therapeutic. Sometimes I do a lot of work. So uh, this is a part of me letting my hair down, so to speak. I can relax, talk, it be about something that's of some substance. Sometimes I don't even have to talk about something with some substance. Sometimes it's just, uh, 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 what's wrong? You know, and oh my gosh. So let me see if there's any way that I can help. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again, 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 again. Do it again, again. All right. What's wrong? Well, it looks like I'm frozen now. What's wrong? Okay, there we go. I had to mess with my camera in order. I was frozen for a second, like. So let me see what's going on now. This seems to always be a little bit of technical difficulty, so I guess I'm going to have to upgrade because getting the guests on here seems to be always a little bit more difficult than it should be. And with a link sent, I sent the link twice. Okay, boom, boom. Ah, there we go. There we go. All right, all right. Now we're cooking with
Thank
oil.
God.
All right. Now get can you center because I see half of your face.
Oh,
All
okay.
right.
Now you see me?
Yeah. There's a
Okay.
hand or something in the way. Something. Okay. Uh,
Mm.
the phone or you're on the phone or
No,
now.
sir. Turning
Hold
it
it
up
like that.
a
Hold it
million
so.
ways.
All right.
Yeah, hold up.
How's
Now
that?
no, you're sideways now. You're like this.
Oh my God.
Now you're right side up. All right.
Yeah, but this is-
Right. Let me stay up by itself. Okay.
That's
All
fine.
right. All
Uh,
righty.
25 ways to make 25K. Can you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Sylvia Johnson.
Okay. Um, what I would like to do is I would like to get from you, I would like to get to know you, so to speak. So anybody watching, I would like them to get to know you. So I
Okay.
know that you wrote this book, Do the Will of God and Follow the Vision. I know that you wrote this, but I'm not going to talk about this right away. I
Okay.
want you to introduce yourself You could talk about. You can go back to childhood. I want you to let us know you.
Okay. Well, first of all, I like to give honor to God, who's first in my life. And I always had this motivation, and I knew it was a purpose for why I'm here. Each and every one of us, we ain't just here, it's a reason. And I feel that Jesus went to the cross that we may live more abundantly. I worked two jobs trying to help out with my immediate family, extended family, and friends. And I never could get enough of money. I used to get so upset on Fridays when I done worked two jobs, all burnt out and tired. And I look at my paycheck and I thought, this ain't enough. This is crazy. And I always been motivated and I don't mind taking a risk. I'm a risk taker. And I always felt that I need to know why am I'm here. It don't make sense to just be here on this earth and not and struggling and suffering and trying and just barely getting by. I don't think so. We should be far off now than we ever been as a people because our life don't belong to us. It belongs to God. He's the reason why we're here. And I feel that he's our father and he's going to take care of his children like any other father would. And I'm very, I believe in persevering. I got a very high self-esteem and I have a problem with the word no. That don't fit in my vocabulary. The word no, I don't think so. And I don't settle. I refuse to settle. And I always been like that all my life. And I always been strange and different because I knew it was more. And I know when everything was made on this earth, it's like trillions of it. And we all have the right to have and to live like everyone else. We shouldn't be treated no different than anybody. And we shouldn't have less than anybody. We should be equal. And I believe in being equal. And I realized I have 17 licenses under my belt. I kept on going. One day I came home from work, working in a factory, and my mother was looking at the news, and I looked at the news and I heard the president say, either you're going to sink or swim. I said, oh, wait a minute. I stood in my tracks. I said, I don't think so. I'm not going to sink. I choose to swim. And I don't know how to swim. And I'm in my 60s. But that's okay. But I'm not going to sink. And I kept saying, I got to find a way to get out of this doggone box. And I felt suffocated and I felt like I was in a box. I said, no, I have the right to have what everyone else have. And I'm going to persevere and I'm not going to stop till I get there. My bloodline, we believe in we a very strong bloodline I'm from. And I talked to some of my nieces and cousins in other states, and they have the same mind frames I had. So apparently our parents raised us about the same. And is we all believe in working hard, moving forward, and getting what we can out of this life. Because, like I said, we're just not here just to be here, taking up space. For what? You have to look in the mirror at yourself and say, who am I? Who do I belong to? Why can't I have more and better? You can. You can answer your own question. Nobody's not going to give it to you. They're going to go out there and make it for you. Nobody's not going to ring your doorbell or knock on your door. You have to persevere and go out there and get what you need out of this life and out your. Just don't waste your time. Make your time very special. You can't look at nobody else and no other race and say, oh, because they got this, they got that. Well, you was here first. Why you don't have it? Why are you standing on the other side of the cash register uh, patronizing somebody else's business and you should be up there having someone patronize yours? What's wrong with this picture? We too old for this stuff. We have enough for our peoples in the education today and the knowledge today, which was we our ancestors It's the reason why we have it because they was the one who lost their life and went through the struggle. And now we have the opportunity to get it. Why we ain't utilizing it? I was in my bookstore. This lady came in one day and she said, "You know what's wrong with your race? You don't read." She said, "And all the secrets is hidden inside the book, all of it." I said, "Really?" I said, "God." I said, "Okay." And that's what I'm saying to you. It's in the book. It's in the Bible. Your roadmap to heaven. The things that you should and shouldn't do. Everything you need to know is sitting right in that book. You have to open it up, make the time, take the time, go in it, and get what you need out of it so you can have a productive and a good life. I didn't even realize that I had a 5,000 square feet building after going through the storm that I went through, which is in my book. I didn't even know I had that waiting for me on the other side. After I came out of the storm, he commanded the lady who didn't want me to use my name, we walk by faith, on her building, which I used it because I wasn't going to let that name go because God gave it to me. So when I was then she came in there one day and she said, when she called me, that's that I want to buy the building. I've only been here 2 weeks. And she asked me, did I know how to play football? I said, let me tell you something, Angela. Not only I know how to play football, but I believe I will win. So let's play. So I said, ask me again a little later because right now I just got in the door with no money and bad credit. I just got in the door. What kind of bank going to give me a loan? $200,000 loan. Then she stumbled my door a few days later. I was waiting on a customer. And then when I said, what she want now? I paid the lady her money. So I said, she bothered me again. Excuse me. So she sat down till I finished with my customer. And she said, you know what I did for you today, Sylvia? I said, oh my gosh, this ain't gonna be a pain. I said, what do you do? She said, I went to the bank and I applied for you a loan to buy this building. You did what? She thought she had so much. Like somebody was born with a silver spoon. They owned a lot. Her husband deceased. And so she wanted to pack up and leave. It's not that she wanted to pack up and leave. God commanded her to give me that because of the storm I just came out of. I ended up with a 5,000 square feet building, $200,000 less than a month of moving in. So what I'm saying to you, you don't know what is waiting for you, what your name is on. What you have to do is buckle down, raise up your sleeves, close your eyes, and go for it. You don't have to see it. You just got to believe it. And I said, wow, my credit was only 400? And I didn't have a doggone dime. And the man from California called me up and said, how you doing, Miss Johnson? I said, who is this? I said, well, I'm blessed. He said, you sure is. Because I across my table just came a paper with your name on it for a $200,000 loan. And he said, and I just signed it. You are truly blessed. Congratulations with your building. You don't know what you're going to get, but it's
So,
worth going through it.
so let
Don't
me
worry.
let me say something real quick. So you're saying that you went to rent a bookstore
Yeah,
less than less than a month in owning a bookstore, you bought the whole building
bought the whole doggone building.
with
And I didn't need credit. I didn't need money. I needed favor.
no down
And I
payment.
got that.
No down payment.
No, no, I got my favor from God.
Okay.
Didn't have no money. And you sure ain't gonna get nobody no loan with no 400 credit. I don't think so. But what you think is impossible, it's possible with God. You have to hook up to the vine. This is his world. And I already knew that. I said, well, this whole world belongs to him. Heaven and earth belong to God. He is the creator. He's the one in charge. We keep focusing, looking at the wrong people for help and answers. You're not going to find it through them because they can care less. If you don't get it from God, you're not going to get it. If you don't listen, to that still soft voice that's talking to you, then it's not going to happen. You already was born inside of you gifts and talent. It's up to you to exercise them, bring it out, put it to work, and be blessed.
All right. Now, you're the author of this book, Do the Will of God and Follow the Vision.
Yes.
But this isn't your first run
Excuse
around the block. You've been doing things. So tell me some of the things that you've done. You got 17 licenses.
me.
So
Yeah.
they're not driver's licenses. So tell me
No.
some of these things that you have licenses to do.
Okay. Well, I should have brought out my resume and I can give you a list of all the things I have done. This woman never stopped, I never quit, and I never gave up. Um, a CNA, hairdresser, phlebotomist, owner of, oh God, there's so many. Huh? What? Oh my God, I need my resume.
Well,
Bad.
you don't have to tell me about every license. I just was trying to get you to explain some of the
Banquet
other things you
hall.
did. You had owned some real estate. You
Oh
have,
yeah.
yeah, like talk to me. Tell me.
Okay. I own it after the Lord blessed when I came out that storm that he had to get in the middle and usher me on out of it. And with his help, I was able to come out. But I ended up with three banquet halls, four three-family houses. I was in the real estate. I did a tapped in that. I was a chaplain at the hospital, which they don't have no no religion but Catholic. I was the first black to go in and work into the hospital as a chaplain. The first one to get a business loan out of 50 students that went in with me. The only one they gave one to. And and I helped a lot of people on the way. I was
What
the
was your
first place,
bookstore? What was your
excuse me.
bookstore?
My bookstore was in a neighborhood that I really didn't supposed to be in. I was upscale, and I was the only Afro American lady in that area.
And what were you selling?
I was selling religion products, and I even opened up a school, a theology school, up to a doctor degree. I opened that up in there. I ended up with a lot of more people that I allowed to come in there. From they thought they sold me the place um, with just two tenants. I ended up with seven tenants, not even including myself, because I just broke down some walls and expand some rooms, and I was allowed to let other people come in and give them a chance to sell their products and have their way out too. I always done that. I fed people that came up there telling me they need something to eat. I help people that like on Thanksgiving I would go the day before. I get a list from everybody that came to the store. I go the day before and I collect the food from these programs. I bring it through the back 4 day in the morning. And when they came to get their goodies, I had it sitting out there in the middle of the aisle for them to get. So they would have, dinner like everyone else. People would come by and just drop off food at my door. And when I be pulling in my driveway, I would look and I thought, oh my gosh, and they start doing that on a regular. Cause they know that I was about helping other peoples that didn't was less fortunate than I was. One time I ended up with a lot of homeless people. I went picked them up that morning for Thanksgiving. I brought them to my house and we had a ball. I fed them, gave them something to take with them, took them back and dropped them back off. We cannot ignore peoples that don't have, and we don't never have to. We never should feel that we better than anyone because we're not. Like I said, we all equal.
Let me ask you
But
something. Were you raised like this, or did you acquire this? Was your
Oh
mother and father was your family doing this with people, or you just said you have to help people like that?
no, my mother. She People will say, "Oh, I know your mother. She fed me." My mother took in for coming up. I used to watch my mother bring in other her girlfriends would call because we moved from the North Carolina up to New York City, the Bronx. And they would call and ask her, when she helped them, their kids to come up here to get on their feet and that they could have a better life. She never refused to take nobody in. And I watched that coming up as a child. And she kept us in church. We went there 7 days a week. And so that's where I got to know, introduce me to God, which is very important and have blessed me. And I kept them with me because she said, when I leave, you need to know who you need to have that's going to continue to stay with you. Because he said, your mother, your father, your sister, and brother may go, but I will be with you to the end. And that's a promise from him. And I hold them to him. I test him all the time, and it works. He never lets me down and never fail me. Whatever I put him to test to, and that's what everyone should try. When everything else in your life fail, won't you just try Jesus? You know what I do when I have a zero bank account? When I look and I see it say zero, I laugh at it. It's funny. It's very funny to me because
It's
I
not
know
funny to
that
me. It's not
it's
funny to
it's
me, so I'm glad you can laugh.
I laugh at it because I know it's gonna fill up and overflow. It's funny. And that's what we have to learn to do. Don't stop worrying about this stuff. It's not even our problem. And stop feeling sorry for yourself and stop saying, I don't get. So won't you just change that and start saying, I do have. Bring that out your mouth and bring that to the atmosphere. I do have it. I have it all. And I can do it. It's nothing you can't do or have. You have to believe in yourself. You don't need the whole world to agree and believe with you. It got to be about you. You have to make you valuable to God. Very valuable. He loves you all. And we need to know that. And when we get that in our thick head, then life will be even a little easier and better. Okay, I don't have money to pay the bill. That's what you're saying. And people depend on that Friday check. Stop depending on that. I can't let you have it because it gotta last me this Friday. It don't have to last you the Friday because you don't know what's gonna come Monday. You don't know what's coming in your mailbox Tuesday. So why are you depending on Friday when I get paid? Oh God, I can't stand hearing people say that. And
All
Friday's
right.
not even promised to you. It's not promised
So
that you'll be here Friday.
let me recap a little bit of what you said.
I'm
You you
sorry, I
you
got a cold.
you owned a bookstore and then ended up owning a building. You owned several houses in real estate with tenants. You owned or did something as a hairdresser. Um, you had a religious bookstore. You didn't mention that you did, because I know this, of course. You didn't mention that you did a religious CD.
Oh yeah,
Tell me about that.
I did. You want to know about when I started
Yeah,
my
yeah,
journey? When
yeah.
I started my journey, I started out at the flea market. It's in my book. And so what we would do, just my husband and I and the kids would go to the flea market we have here in Connecticut, where everybody sell all kind of different things, and we will sell all kind of crap too. Then one day I took a walk. The spirit said, "Take a walk and just observe and see what everyone is selling." And as I took that walk and I looked around and I realized whether nobody selling gospel. I said, okay, that's my niche. So I flipped and started selling gospel. And the people start coming. It just blew it up so bad. I worked in one of the hospitals. I had people selling them in the hospitals, both of them. Had them on the corner selling them. And they were shipping them down south to this radio station. It got bigger than me and my husband. And I noticed that he was getting tired of it. So I said, I got to make some changes. I said, I'm going to have to get a building so I don't have to keep bugging him. I just order my stuff because I felt like, I was going to it was like a block coming in my way, a storm, a nice dark block, and it was going so good and so well. I didn't want to let it go or give it up because it was helping and blessing people that was in need. I worked in a hospital where they were gonna lay off 300 people in the in one of the housekeeping departments. And when I went there and saw how them people was all depressed, and because all of a sudden they didn't have the education. They've been there all their life. They knew them people didn't have no education. But to get rid of them, the downside, they're gonna say, well, if you can't pass the test, then you're gonna have to go. It was the saddest thing. So when it was a blessing because at that time I was bringing the tapes in, and they was grabbing them fast. I can get to the building in the door. I said, oh my God. And I saw a change in them, and they lift up, and it wasn't depressed and sad and upset no more. Like whatever, because it was TD Jakes was out at the time. Excuse me. I don't know. I got a bad cold. So TD Jakes was out at the time, and they was all listening and all was being blessed about what he was saying. Woman down loose, and just was feeding them, and it was taking them through. And so one day, and I know you're supposed to listen in the hospital, but I said, hey, they fired me, they fired me. This is working for these people. It's helping them, and they are able to move on in spite of what the devil trying to do to them out of all these years. So one day the supervisors called and said, Sylvia, come here. I said, oh God, this day I lose my job, whatever. I went to see what this man wanted. I said, okay, I'm out of here. He says, don't stop doing what you're doing because it is really blessing these people. Because he was hurt too to know that they were all them people been there with him all them years had to lose their job because they didn't have the education.
Right.
But they kept the place clean. But all of a sudden became a problem. They had to go take a test and they couldn't pass the test. So that means they would have to go home. It was about time for retirement anyway. So that was the old trick of the devil. But anyways, they didn't even care no more because they were just buying them tapes. They would pay me, whenever they got paid. I had supervisors standing in the hallway. Sylvia, so and so looking for you. They was helping too, but you don't supposed to listen there. But it was okay for me because I had everybody helping me to keep pushing those tapes, and it was a blessing. They was blessed, and I was blessed. And I kept telling the technicians that I said, I'm not, they try to give me a 40-hour job. I said, no, I'm not staying. Where are you going? I said, honey, where I'm going, I'll be on the other side of the door waiting for you. And they would laugh. When I opened up my store, they come running there because they knew I was there because somebody told them. And they came there, and I opened up the door, and they had a fit. I said, I told you, I'd be on the other side of the door waiting for you. That's where I'm going. That's why I wasn't going to take no 40 because I couldn't settle, and I wasn't satisfied with the pay. They paid me okay, but it wasn't enough. It never was enough. My expense in my household, what I needed and wanted in life was bigger than those paychecks. I got a problem with somebody telling me what to do, dictating to me. I got to be in charge. I'm a leader. I'm not no follower. Not at all. I'm just not a person that's gonna settle. I'm not settling for nothing. I would have never made it in slavery. I know I wouldn't. They would have hung me up on my
Yeah,
toes.
me
But
either.
no, they would. I wouldn't have made it. And I mean, because I would have had all the people out there that field ready to go to war and hurt the masters. I know I would have had them out there. Let's do this. Great big nice grown men. Why? Why are you gonna have to live like this? No. But God sought them free. We free. And I don't know when we gonna step up and wake up and understand we are free. We don't have to settle for this mess. You don't need nobody dictating to you. You got to dictate to them. It's a new day. It's 2023. What's wrong with the picture? When are we going to step up and make a stand for ourselves? Why are we going to get what we need? Because God already gave us more than enough. You could look around your house and see you got more than enough to work with. You just gotta utilize it and work it and let it work for you.
So,
If you're not doing good, it's because that's your choice. You can't blame nobody but yourself because you got it. You got to work it.
so take me to your journey with the actual writing of the book. If you have any inspiration that inspired you to do it, or what have you, what made you actually sit down and say, I'm going to write a book?
A lady came in from California to my store, and I had like a couch sitting there. Because if you could sit there and look at TV, listen to the music, when you come in, it was that kind of atmosphere. Because a lot of the churches wasn't open with just a Bible study on Wednesday and Sunday service. They wasn't open during the week. The name of my store was We Walk by Faith. So people thought that was a church. And they would come in, we would pray, and and I would listen to them, and it was like a church, but it was a store. So what happened is I I really wanted to be a blessing to the peoples because I feel if the door was open at the church, they would go to their leaders to help them. But it wasn't nobody open. They was closed only twice a week out of 7 days. So I was there for them. And I thank God that I was. And I would you asked me about the tapes.
Hmm.
Well, it's I so she said to me before she left, she said, "When you gonna write that book?" I said, "Who?" I said, "What?" She said, "When you gonna write that book?" It's still in the middle of my store. I said, "Who is this lady?" She said, "When I came here to Connecticut, I told them I was looking for a bookstore." She said, "Everybody in that organization said at the same time, go to We Walk by Faith." And she said, "That's how I end up coming here to you. Now I want to know when you're going to write that book." I said, "What the devil is she talking about?" And so, I turned around there and I went to, I asked somebody around there, I said, "Wow, so I got to find me something, you know, so I can." So this guy said to me, "You can get one of them dictators or something." He said, "Go to Staplers." And he wrote down the name of the kind of machine that I needed to do the tape.
Right.
So I got that and I came home and I started doing just that.
So you was talking into it.
I
You was
talked
talking
into
into it.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. And my mother had passed away. And I heard I was in the store one morning and I heard my mother in there because she went with me every day when I opened up. I retired her and took her to work with me. I said, "That's it, working for them. It's time for you to just chill out and just let your daughter do whatever she do, work." And so she hung out with me. So it was good. I got a chance to spend time with my mother. So she had like 7 kids. And this Jewish lady told me one time, she says, "Let me tell you something, honey," when I did private duty. She said, "One mother can take care of 10 kids, but 10 kids cannot take care of one mother." I said, "This lady crazy." And so I didn't believe it. And when my mother was on her way to the hospital because she was a badass medic, working down in the fields in the South, picking cotton. So she was on her way because her lung, was really bad. And on the way downtown, they said to her, "We losing her." And I started praying. We got there. I told my mother, I said, "You don't have to worry." I said, "You can't go back there." I said, "You got 7 kids that can take care of you." She said, "No, I don't." She said, "They're not going to take care of me." And sure enough, she was telling the truth. I called every last one of them up, and none of them, all of them had excuses. And I was the only one with the young kids, two young kids. All of them had an excuse of why they can't help out. It was sad. So I said, well, after God blessed me, I said, well, I can take care of you. And another one of my brothers that deceased, and he had bad lungs also. He helped. So it was two of us. And matter of fact, she lost one. She had 8 kids, but she had lost one like that pneumonia thing they had going on back in the day. So they didn't know how to treat it. Doctors, okay, don't lose them. So we when he passed away, it was just me. And I did. I told him retiring you. You're not going back. And everybody got a million excuses why they can't help out. And I'm the only one with the two young kids. I said, but I'm gonna take care of you. So I picked up every morning on the way, stayed with me all day, bring her some food, and she just sat there and hung out with me all day. And then I drop off in the evening, so she can just get out of the house because she used to go into work, worked all her life. I drop off in the evening and come on home. And I enjoyed it. I got a chance to really get to know and spend time with my mother, then going one way while she going to another. And then calling her every break I got, talking to her. She was able to be there with me in person. And it was a good thing. I really thank God for giving me that opportunity to spend some me time with her. It was a blessing. When she passed away. But she stayed until she was 70 years old. Which she told me that her and her family, they usually leave at the age of 50. I was scared to death at the age of 50 because I said, God, my mother gonna leave too. But she
Right.
did. Thank God he gave her another 20 years. So that was a blessing. And I
So,
got a chance to spend time with her.
so the lady said, "Where's when you going to do the book?" So that planted the seed in your head, right?
That's what it did.
So what watered it?
Excuse me?
What watered it? She planted the seed. What else happened to make you figure, listen, I have to write a book?
Yeah, well, I I don't know. I would listen to someone, they would tell me something. I have to pray on it. I have to sit still with it. I have to like wait on God. I have to wait on the spirit before I move. I don't move without the spirit. I'll sit there for days and weeks in that store reading my Bible before I get up and go do what I got to do because I got to hear it and then I got to see it. And my employees always say, "Oh, she's on the move." And that's the only way. And I don't talk to them. I just go and do it because that's what I was told to go do. And that's just the way I operate. So, okay, back to your question. After I wrote so much of that book, I stopped. And then I met this lady that came in. I tell you, I would love, I don't know. I pray to God that for the book to come past her eyes or something, the name of it, so she can come back, get in touch with me. Because her and her son came in that store that day. I said, God, I need someone to type it up. And I asked this lady, did she know how to, and she said, yeah, I could do that. I can transfer it over to words. And she would come every time I had a little tape waiting for her, reaching my cash register and give her some money, and she'll take some more, and she'll bring me back some more. She'll take some more, bring back some more, and that's how I end up getting the whole thing done. Then I like being in the bookstore. I knew all those publishers, so I got in touch with some, and the price was so high. That's oh my god. So I just took it and sought that package in. Um, I just saw that package up for years. But the thing was, my mother, before I finished the book, my mother came and hollered in my ear and I was asleep. I jumped straight up on the floor. She said, get up and finish that book. I said, oh boy. And she told me, she said, you're gonna be a millionaire. You're gonna be rich. I said, me? She said, yeah. But I didn't that thing never phased me and dawned on me because fast I get money, I give it away. That's what I do. I love getting money, but I love helping with it. I might take it from someone, but I'm gonna give it to somebody else that needs it. That's just the way I do. And I always been like that. It ain't never been about me. Cause God said, whatever you done for the least one of mine, you have done it unto me. And that's just the way I work. I think about that scripture, and that's how I operate. It's not about me. Never had been and never will be. I'm all about helping and giving you that you can be okay. Because I'm okay, but I want you to be all right too. So that's why I do what I do. That's another part of my theme for my mother, giving and sharing, helping and loving people as God love you all.
So, what is your favorite part of the book? What's the most powerful part that gave you? Sometimes I'm a writer myself, so um, sometimes there's a part where you feel like the chills, like it's so powerful, and you may have five parts that's so powerful to you, but it, pick one that you feel is powerful enough to share with me.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It was a totally nightmare.
Oh,
The whole storm. Because it's the you don't know how wicked and evil and conniving and dirty peoples are until you start walking down that road and getting involved. You know, I had so many obstacles and so many roadblocks until only thing that made me kept going. I had to constantly keep reading the word, and I had to constantly keep praying through all of it. And all I could hear every time I ran into a storm was I would hear the Lord say to me, "How far will you go for me?" And I would answer him and say, "I go all the way for you." That's what kept me going, was hearing that. And every time I get rejected, denied, um, some kind of block, some kind of no, which I didn't want, I was not going to take that. I would hear that come up to me. And I said, "Oh, I'm not going to do it. I have a fit." And I said, "Oh, no. I mean, I'm tired of this too much going through that, going through the storm." But I would keep hearing, "How far will you go for me?" And I kept answering, "I'll go all the way for you." And that's how I was able to make it through all of that. Didn't have no clue that when I came up out of it, that he had a whole 5,000 square building waiting for me. So I wonder sometime, and you should wonder yourself and ask yourself the question, what do God have waiting for me? How many buildings belongs to me and I don't know about? How many houses? How many toys? For you to know, you got to hook up with Jesus and walk with him because he's going to be with you. And just, can't nobody do nothing to you because who gonna who gonna hurt Jesus? Nobody. So, and it's his world anyways. So if you willing to allow him to lead and guide you, you can get to your purpose and your destination. But you gotta have an open mind, and you gotta know that he's with you. And he's with you. The whole world can be against you. You just need him to be with you. Because he is the author and the finish of our faith. He is the beginning, he's the last. He's the first. Cows on a thousand hills belong to him. Everything on earth and in heavens belong to him. He went through a sacrifice. He earned it. So we may have the right to the tree of life. There's nobody holding nothing back from you but you. You can't be mad with no race, nobody but yourself. You got to make it happen. Get up off the couch and do something. Do something for you. and stop depending on everyone else because they're not going to do it. It's not going to happen. Only God. And don't never think, well, I ain't going to have no money to do it. I don't know what she's talking about. Yes, you do. You have more than enough. That's all you need is Him. You can have it all. You don't need to see Him. You just need to believe Him. And like a lot of things that was happening to me going through it towards this book, I didn't, I was just in the blind as a blind man can't see. But I had that kind of faith. And I'm a believer. And I love a challenge. You
Let me
come
ask
and
you
challenge.
something. Let me ask you something. Um, can you? We I've experienced in my lifetime what we commonly known as haters. Now, they don't actually have to hate, but that's just a terminology that we use. But
Yeah.
there are people that are negative, negative Neds and Nellies, and I want to know your experience with that negativity and how did you combat those challenges of negativity when you were confronted with them?
Oh, out of all of my 17 license, every one of them have a story behind them. Every living one of them. But guess what? I got them all because you have to ignore. I mean, my son always say, "Well, Ma, you can't let nobody know what you're doing." I don't have a problem letting you know what I'm doing. I'm speaking it into existence. I
Right.
have no problem. So when it happened, I told you, and I told you first. I don't have no problem with what nobody say and do and how they feel about me. It doesn't matter. I just got to know that my life belongs to the Lord and it don't belong to the people's. They can't take nothing from me unless in God and I allow it. So it's okay. I don't get caught up with people. I'm so much trying to help, and I know how they feel. I know they hate us. I know they don't like me, but it's okay. As long as God be for me and He loves me, it doesn't matter. I don't pay them no attention, and I still help them give them. But I already know that they're not feeling me, and they not, but they don't have it, so they really don't have no choice but to just go ahead and go along with me and take it because they can't. They're not trying to do nothing for themselves to improve and talking negative. I don't fool with that. I don't have nowhere to put it. I have no room for that. I keep persevering. I keep on keeping on. I never fitted in, so I'm okay. All my life from a child, I never fit in nothing. I never belonged to nothing. But and it's okay. But they'll take whatever I'm gonna give them. But they didn't really want me in their circle. So when you run into people that never fitted in, it's easier for them to move right on underneath you, behind you, aside you. It's okay. It don't affect those kind of peoples like that. And I'm one of them. And I don't, and it used to bother me. I said, God, I'm always giving and helping her, and she still like she can't stand me, and she always saying something negative. Until I learned, I said, you know what? Long as God knows, it's about Him. Long as He see and know what I done, it doesn't matter how they feel and what they say. And I still kept doing good on top of all the evil. It doesn't matter. So I don't feed into all that negative mess because I'm gonna do what Sylvia want to do, regardless. And I'm not gonna let no one distract me or discourage me or turn me from doing whatever I know I need to do. I'm all about purpose. I'm a winner. And my
So,
slogan said, a winner never quit and a quitter never wins.
so on the flip side of that, do you have any diehard supporters?
diehard supporters.
Yeah, people that's that's your fan base that you know got your back.
Heck no. I'm gonna keep it real because, and I mean, out of all I have done, you would think that they would be with me or have what I have or doing what I'm doing. They still sitting back, looking for a handout and still ain't trying to do nothing for themselves. And they don't see me. I done put it to work. I done proved to them that you can have it too. But they still like, still crying. And I don't know why they're crying. Because God said, I wipe the tears from your eyes and put a smile on your face. So I don't know what part of that Bible they don't understand. So why are you going to act like that and feel that way about me, but you're always grabbing, needing, and all this needy mess? You need to rise above that. Start having and forget about needing and wanting. You want it, go get it. They made a trillion of it all. So, like I said, you can't be mad with nobody but yourself. Because you have free will, you have the right to make decisions and make good choices. If you make bad choices, don't mean that it can't change and get better. It's up to you to change. It's all on you. There ain't nobody else you can blame and be mad and hating on or jealous of. Do something for yourself and let everybody else hate on you instead of you hating on yourself. That's crazy. Don't make no kind of sense.
Right.
I thank God for my second book coming out next month. That's another. That's gonna be a nice mind blower.
Yeah, I had some technical difficulties just now. Someone's
I,
trying to call me, messing up my flow.
I know that's right.
Uh, now, you did not mention that you are reverend.
Okay, I'm a reverend.
um, can
That
you
I
tell,
am.
can you tell me about how that journey?
Oh wow, how did that come about?
Yeah.
I want to be clear. When I opened up, when the bookstore opened up, everybody came running, hollering, how'd I get there? And they kept saying to me, asking the same question: what church do you belong to? What church you belong to? I didn't belong to none of them churches. I only belong to Jesus. I said, the church is in you. Somebody ain't told you, but the church is in you. He's not coming back for no buildings. He coming back for you. So you got to understand what that word means and who is the church. The church is you. So my my sister, we went out to eat one day and we were sitting there. They couldn't believe I didn't belong to no church. They didn't know how could I get there without being in no church. I said, I got Jesus, and that's more than enough. And I had to pray through that whole 9 yard, and I had to read, constantly reading all the time, getting my getting all of my knowledge and all of my instruction from that Bible and for what I was hearing. So yeah, I guess you would think I was in a building. No, that was my faith and my trust and my belief in God. And that's what you need. It's not all about being in no building. It's about your faith. And mine is very strong and it still is. So I went out with her to eat one day, my sister, and she says, it was a setup. And she said to me, you know what? I like that little church we went to. And I was just sitting there with her. She said, you know what? And my sister, she said, I think I'm going to join that church. I said, what? Yeah, I like it. And so it wasn't about her, it was about me. And I'm going to tell you something. When the people wanted to know what church I belonged to, they wouldn't have patronized me if I didn't belong to a certain religions.
Right.
And I knew that. So when they come and ask me that question, I'll tell them, I said I belong to God. I don't even belong to myself.
Right, because you give them the wrong answer, they got an excuse to walk away.
And not patronize the
Right.
store. And they would. A lot of times a man would come in and walk all through the place, all crazy. Then he'd go back out the door. And then some women would come in. Oh, that was my pastor. It didn't make no kind of sense. He had to come and check out the place first before he let his saints. That's controlling.
Right.
That's bad. Before he let his saints come in there and patronize and get what they need with their money. It wasn't even his money. But the
Wow.
pastor had to come. I said, God, boy, your pastor's not your God, man. Come on. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's very sad. I mean, you gotta believe in the unseen. I mean, your pastor, they have their little. I had one coming in, he was a bishop, and he told me, I was talking to him, and he said, you believe everything you see in that book you read? I said, what? I said, you know what? I want to ask you, Bishop, what part of it that you telling your saints not to believe? Because I don't understand it. What you saying to me? That's sad. I ran into so many wolves dressed in chic clothes. Then God only allowed. My mother experienced a lot of it too. One day she had a book getting ready to come behind and hit the poor preacher in the head. I said, oh, wait a minute here, Ma. I said, wait a minute, don't hit that man. But it's a mess. So you tell me I need to be in your church? Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the leaders need to check their self. But and the thing about me, and so I went on and joined the church because she sought me up. And I said, okay. Then I got ordained as a minister. I opened up a school, a theology school, all the way up to doctor degree, which I had, and I had all doctors instructors, and I had them all. They all had their own rooms with the students. I had a lot of people that came in from other countries that joined the school because I found out if they belong to a school, they don't have to go back right away. So that extended their time.
Oh,
So
the
that's
visa. It made their visa longer.
yeah.
Okay.
I found that out. That's why they was coming in there like that. But that was okay. And one day I was there and I would listen, I would get the tape. I put a tape in all the teachers' room. And then I listen to it on the way home at night. Because I know my Bible. So I was listening to one of them. I said, oh my God. And she was talking about raising up her sleeve and fighting and all of that. I said, is that part of the Bible? But anyway, I went back next day. I said, honey, we ain't gonna do this. I said, cause we trying to bring them to the kingdom, not send them away from it.
Right.
There's nobody gonna get saved like this, you know. So and so I had to let her go. It was sad too. But I know she had a big mouth. She's coming to the store, but I didn't know. And she wanted to be one of my instructors, but I didn't know she was going to be in there talking about fighting. So that didn't work for me. I said, oh no. So, so got rid of that devil. So, and we just kept on going. But every time that I was called to I was one of the associates at my church, and every time I was called, they would collect an offering afterwards. I would tell them I wouldn't take it. I never would take the offering. And one of the sisters of the church said, I don't know why we collect offering for Reverend Johnson because she ain't gonna do but give it back to us. Yeah, I gave it back. I bought them a van so they can have transportation to get people back and forth so they could come to the house to worship. Because that's just me. I'm a giver. I never think about myself, but I do think about everybody else. And when my pastor deceased, we ended up with a young pastor, which swinged himself in there. So all the old associate ministers, we all left. And like I did, well, me and the Lord did a lot of funerals. I think that was just must have been my calling to do funerals. A lot of them, even my own mother, my siblings, you know,
You did that? You did your mother's funeral?
sure did.
Wow.
My mother asked me to. I was at the store one day and she was getting ready to go. So what she did was she was giving out, calling people over, giving them things that she wanted them to have. She went out there and painted her fence. She made the pies for the repast. And but I said, and it came over me. I said, "Mom, I'm leaving." And then that night I went to the drugstore to get her medicine. And for some reason I couldn't get it. And I went to go for Father's Day to find something for my husband. And for some reason, I was just kept getting disturbed in my spirit, and I couldn't even find what I wanted to give him. But the next day, we always, always give him the gift. We go out to eat, and the next day, that night, I talked to her to around 2 in the morning, and she says, "Don't get old." I said, "What you mean?" She said, "Cause nobody ain't gonna do nothing for you." And I said, "What you mean, Ma?" I said, "Because what you need?" She said, "I need some underwears." I said, "You know good well I go to the store and take you to get some underwears." And then I told her I love her and good night. And on the way down the hall to go to my bedroom, it just, and I just heard in my spirit that she leaving. And sure enough, next day we called her all day long. So we get ready to go out to eat. And she didn't answer. And I sent my son and my husband over and they found her on the floor. She was out of here.
Wow.
But she already had her check sitting there, her insurance check. I mean, she knew. She had an insurance check sitting there. She had everything what she gonna give everybody already. Like I said, she already had her pies cooked for the repast.
For her own repast?
Yes, sir. Yes, she did. She had all them pies cooked. Everything was in place and ready. She knew. And
Wow.
that's a good thing when you know.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it's a good thing. And she already know. Because she would never sent and got an insurance check for her burial. Why would you do that? Who'd have think to do that? But she left me with no work. It was very everything went too smooth. She didn't put none of that on me. Told me what to give her sisters and everything. When they came, I gave it to them. Took them over there and I gave them what she said. So, and then and she asked me when I was at the store, could I do her funeral? My mother asked me. She called me up at the store, and I just looked. It was kind of hurtful, and I said, she said, because I don't trust none of these people. And she experienced a lot of them coming through the door. She said, I don't want them to do my funeral. Can you do it for me? And I said, with God help, we can. And we did.
How did that feel? Like that's wow.
It was okay.
It was
Because,
okay.
yes, it was okay. It was beautiful. To be absent from the body is to be present with God. So that's what the scripture says, and I'm a believer. So leaving me, I know who she was with. So I was okay. I mean, we were so tight, like like sisters. Whoever thought that I would have been able to do that or had to do that? But I just thank God I got saved in time. I got ordained in time because I had to do it. And that's what my pastor said. He said to me, open up the doors that morning. He said, I don't know how you can do it. He said, I don't know if I could do my mother's. I said, well, that's you. And
Wow.
my brothers, and I did my sisters. My sister and my brothers, I did them. Me and God. It's okay. And like a lot of them say, God, you helped us do it. And instead of you grieving and carrying on, you the one helped us. And I did. But I had help. I usually let my hair down after everything is over and then everybody's gone. Then I have my me time. But I'm comfortable. I'm in peace because I know I did everything I could do for her. I have no guilty conscience, no remorse. So it's okay. But if I didn't do her right, then it will be a problem. I end up doing people I didn't even know. They would come to the store and ask me. I'll just go to tell me where he at, and I just go and let God do it. So I think grief is a big thing that He had gave me to do. So in my next book, my third book is going to be a grief book.
Is that something that people charge for, or you just do that just to help?
The funeral home charges. Um, the church might charge you, but me personally, it's no charge, not at all. I'm not one to stand up there and read no papers in the pulpit. I ask God, how can I reach your peoples? Because you have so many unbelievers that bench warmers and just come just to be coming. I said, how do I reach your peoples? He told me to come down from that pulpit and I contact them. And that's what I always done. I never did notes. I didn't have to stand up there and read nothing. After the prayer, I walked down off that pulpit and I let God be God. Some people say your eyes turn another color, your voice changes. I said, because it's not me. As if you ever look up there before they call me to come up and speak, you will see my eyes close because I'm leaving. I have to decrease for him to increase. And that's just the way it is with me. I let God speak. I don't know your problem. I don't know your situation, but he do know. So I'd rather for him to take control because he said, if you open your mouth, I'll speak for you and through you. I have to go back with the word when I'm doing something and what the scripture says. And I am a believer. So I just say, God be God. I ain't got to stand and read no 20 notes. I don't do no studying, but it's always blessed and it's always good. I end up one time at this church with a uh, 21 years old, some lady from out of town came to the store. I gave the lady a little Bible. I prayed with her. And she still turned around and asked me, would I come? I said, what? So I went there to the funeral home, and the time she said, I closed the place down and went. And I was sitting way in the back. I told me and one of my employees, we're going to sit way in the back because I don't know these people. And next thing I know, I got kicked up, stood up, and went down that aisle, turned around, spoke whatever God wanted to be said, and strut my little self back down the aisle. And people was trying to grab me as I went back down. And then the priest came down the aisle, and he put his hand in mine. He said, "You are that life." And he thanked me for going up there, doing what he couldn't do. I said, "My God." He said, "You're the light of the world." And thank you. And that's so wow. I didn't know them people. Next thing I know, while I was sitting there, they all got up on both sides. I didn't know they had issues. And they went up and made a round circle and they all hugged and hold each other and embraced each other. I ain't know about them people. But I didn't know that they wasn't getting along neither.
Right.
But after that, that's what they did. It was like an umbrella all the way around in the front. They came together. And I can't even tell you what was said because I decreased while he increased. He
Right.
spoke to them. He spoke to them because I didn't. I was just there, a vessel being used. I wouldn't take nothing for the journey, nothing for the walk. I love the Lord, and we all valuable, and we all important. We all here for a reason.
That's powerful.
We just
Do
got to get to know who we are and
do
why we're still here.
do people contact you and ask you to speak at churches and things now?
Yeah, yeah, I hear from people. Not like I used to, because I got out of the spotlight and I'm mostly home. I don't know. I just took me a me break from people's. And like I've been home for the last few years, just chilling out. Because our new pastor that came, which he came in the wrong way, everybody left. Everybody left. But he brought 120 people with him. Had them all ready on the same day, joined the same day, just to get the votes to take over the church. He took over and destroyed it. We left because it wasn't our home anymore. And we all loved our home. We would go back if he'll leave, but we ain't going back in that mess because it's a hot mess. It's sad. We all dressed it appropriately in a nice way. Some people's coming there like they going to the club.
Wow.
It's sad. The music, everything is wrong. He has turned it into a club. Everybody always talks about if you go there one time, you want to come back because there was nothing but love. You could feel it in there, and everybody treated you with love. That went out the window when that young boy came in. Sad, but it is what it is.
Right. Um, is there anything, any words of wisdom that you would like to impart?
Yes, I would just like to say to everyone that's listening under the sound of my voice, you have a purpose of being here. Find out what it is. Utilize the gift that's within you. It's in you because God put it in you before you was even formed in your mother womb. So you have it in you. Start working on it and work it out. Don't be nobody victim. Be victorious. They say when you know better, you do better. Make some changes. Man up and go get what your inheritance. You don't have to wait until you deceased. You can get your inheritance now. It's waiting for you. Like I said, you don't know what your name is on, and it will blow your mind to find out. And I encourage you to at least go for it. See what it's all about. Get what belongs to you. Take it back. What the devil and the cankerworms have stolen from you. Take your life back. It's valuable. Make it work. Get in that book and read that book, The Word of Life. If you don't read no other books, and God will bless you. Won't you try him and say, I dare you to try him. I know he works. He didn't just work for me, he works for all of us. You could be the next Bill Gates, and you don't even know it, next Beyonce. All those people, they have a story. They didn't just get it overnight. They had to go through some stuff. And if everybody open their mouth and tell you what they went through, you can understand why they have what they have.
Right.
It don't come easy. It come with sacrificing, but you can get it. You don't have to be no haters or mad or upset about what someone else got. Go get yours and live. God bless you all. I love you. God love you more. And be blessed. And I enjoy You listen to my story. Grab the book.
I got something I have to ask you. I'm sorry. I should have put this before this.
No.
You said you had some near death experiences.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
can you share? Because that's very interesting.
Okay. When I went down to see my mother-in-law, which was they said was this was passing away, and we stayed there a whole month. And my daughter was around about my baby. She was around about 2,
Where were
and
y'all?
I was in Staunton, Virginia. I left from Connecticut and went to Virginia, and we went back and forth seeing her every day. And that hospital wasn't the right one, so we had to move her from where she was at to another one about 45 minutes from there. So I did a lot. I was back and forth seeing her, trying to take care of my 3 kids, cooking and cleaning and all that good stuff until I end up with infection in my lymph nodes, and that means it covers your whole body. And I had a bad infection. So I went to the hospital where she was at, and they wanted to keep me because they did some testing and said, "You got 45 minutes to live, Miss Johnson. You out of here in 45 minutes." The doctor kept jumping all over the bed, hollering, "You're going to die. You're going to die." I couldn't get my clothes on fast enough. I said, "You kidding me? You dying. You dying." That's what the machine said, which we built some of the machines up here. So I know how good they are. And so I know what we put together and looked pretty when you get through putting the cover on from working in the factories up here.
Oh
So
man.
then I said, well, okay, I'm not staying in here. He said, "You're going to die." I said, "Oh, no, I'm not." I said, "Well, I won't be in here." I'm studying going down the hall. The nurse followed me, hollering, "You're going to die. You're going to die." She said, "You got to sign these papers." Wait a minute. I waved my hand up at that lady and kept walking. She said, "You got to sign these papers." She said, "Because we don't want to be responsible for your death." I couldn't get out that door fast enough. I said, "Yeah, if you admit me, I would die." I said, "No. Why you think I moved my mother-in-law out of here?" And I called my husband, told him I was ready. He said, "Oh, you okay?" I said, "Oh, I'm fine." My legs was so big and so red hot, you could fry an egg on them. That's how bad that infection was. And I had to be to school in about 2 more weeks for phlebotomists drawing blood. And I had to be to class. And so he told me, the doctor said, "You're not going to be able to take care of your kids. You're not going to be able to travel on a plane, bus, car, or train. You're not going to make it back to Connecticut. You are going to die." So let me tell you what I did with my 45 minutes that
Oh
I'm
yeah.
supposed to be dying. I went outside that building in that parking lot waiting for my husband to come get me. And I said, well, I've only got 45 minutes. I better make the best of this time. I was singing songs. I was praying. I was out there shouting. People walking by thinking I'm crazy. I said, I got to make it in. I got to make it into heaven. So I got to use this time really good if I'm going to die. And I did. By the time that 45 minutes waiting for him to come, it seemed like it was about 3 or 4 hours. So that man got around the corner to pick me up. And you know how many years that was?
How many?
33 years ago.
Wow.
I'm supposed to be out of here. So I know for me to be still here and to be telling you this now, it's a reason that he kept me, and he kept me for you.
Right.
That you will know not only he's a miracle worker, that you will know that your life is important. And if you can't believe everything these physicians say, you have to have faith and belief in God. Because He's the one brought you here. He's the only one can take you out in his timing. Every hair on your head is numbered. And whenever your number come up, you out. Until then, you're not going nowhere. So don't even waste your time feeding into all of that. Don't let nobody label you. Not at all. Only report you need to believe is the report from the Lord. If he didn't tell you, then it's not so. You need to know that.
But that's not the only near-death experience you had.
Oh my God. I had three. I think that was the last one. Then I end up after my mother passed away, I end up my sugar got so bad, which I didn't even know I was a diabetic. And I just kept going to the bathroom, kept going to the bathroom until my drain was going. So I finally had to go to the hospital. And when I went to the hospital, they admit me because they said it was over 700. And so they put me in ICU. I'm up there in ICU, and people walking by that knew me, from the store, or knew me from the church, coming in the room asking me to pray for them. I said, do they understand I'm in ICU? I don't know what they don't know where they thought we was at, but I did though, and I just I ignored what was going on with me, and I did what I do best. That's pray, and I did. I prayed for him. My pastor came up there. Think you gonna come and pray and talk to me? He come up there asked me, did I want to go to the prison and do the prison ministry?
Yeah.
I said, go do the ministry at the prison. He said, yes. I want you to think about going to do that. I'm up there and I see you, man. So okay. That's how I think about it. it was just crazy. But it was okay. I guess I didn't look as much as they saying I was, huh? For them
Right.
to so everybody would still want me to do something. And I'm in ICU. And then I experienced another one too. It happened to me.
You had a car accident?
Oh yeah, I had a car accident. Which yeah, I did that too. which that was you know, going off the highway and off the exit, like they went down on another ramp, and then the man gets it was three car accident. We was the first one. Then the man gets out talking about, oh, you okay? I could fix your car, but you okay? I said, this man crazy. I'm okay. And the car got all tore up and junk, and he talking about you okay? That's oh God. All of a sudden he's a doctor. Without even examine me, he gonna tell me how I feel. I said, oh no. I went on to the hospital. And then I ended up having to have surgery. But I was okay, according to him. And then I had to have surgery on my shoulder and everything. But he was funny. Did I have any more? I don't know.
That's three that I know about that I'm from the books. Three.
Okay, then I think that's a wrap with that. uh, I think that wrapped that up. But I've been through so much. My girlfriend always said, "Call Sylvia, call Sylvia. She been through hell and back. She got a number for you. She can answer whatever your problems is, cause she been through it." She used to always watch me through the years, 30 years of me going through different, things, but survived them all, cause my faith and my trust in God was just that strong. So it was okay. He kept me. I believe he kept me more for all of you, that you will hear the testimony and will help you with your going through. You might have been where I've been, or you might be on your way going to through what I've been through, but it will enlighten you to know that it's going to be okay and you will survive it. And it's just a season thing, but it will pass. You can still make it. So don't just look at it as, oh my God. Just look at it and say, hey, this too will pass. This is a test to my faith. It's okay. I'm going to pass it with the help of God, and I'm going to be all right. Just know it's going to be all right. Nothing stay the same. It do changes. My lady used to say to me all the time, and I think my next book gonna be about going through 9 years of seeing nothing days. That'll be my next book. But anyways, she says a poor wind when it don't blow in your back door. Very poor wind. So I'm saying to you, it's okay. You can ride the storm. You can overcome, and you can make it. It's all up to you and your faith and your trust and believe in God.
Do
Nothing
you
holding you back but you.
do you have a favorite verse from the Bible?
I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. All things. And that's what you got to say when you're going through all these trials and tribulation, that I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. Get
Okay.
that in your spirit, get it in your mind, and speak it out your mouth, and just go on through it and come out as pure gold. Just know that God is with you and He promised to never leave you. So when you go through, He go through. You come out, He comes out. You never alone. Never feel that you're alone, because you're not. You got help that you can't even see, that's with you throughout whatever's going on in your life. And you are a survivor. You're not a victim, but you are victorious, and you will make it. Just hold on and trust Him when you can't even trace Him. He's there for you.
You have the right to be blessed.
You have the
Do the will
right.
of God and follow the wisdom. Reverend Sylvia Johnson. I appreciate you spending the time, giving me the time to talk to me and tell me about yourself and some of your trials and tribulations and some of your triumphs. Because it's not just trials and tribulations that you had. You had some triumphs. You got 17 licenses. You was a
Yeah.
reverend. You done did tape, books, had stores, real estate, raised a family, went through doing the funerals of your own family members. That's you got to be strong to do a lot of these things you've done. So I tip my hat to you. And this has not only been a journey for you, this has been a journey for me. You telling me these things, and I really appreciate it because I learned a lot today. So
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank
And good luck with your book. I hope it becomes very successful.
I pray that I'll be able to bless somebody, because I know inside there is something that will, everybody should be able to relate to. Take what in there that belongs to you, work it, use it, and be blessed. I love you all.
That's right. This is Johnny Bunting Jr., 25 Ways to Make 25K. And that was Reverend Sylvia Johnson. Her book, You Have the Right to Be Blessed. Do the will of God and follow the vision. Excuse me, follow the vision. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good night. Princess, you ready to go outside? You want to go outside? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go outside. 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 Let's go.